The day I tore off my fake beard in front of my fiancée, my kids, my staff, and 3 rich women who thought they were coming over for brunch. I watched every single one of them realize I had been my own gardener for weeks. Tell me honestly, if you had to lie to your own children just to find out whether someone was hurting them, would you do it? Or would you rather stay blind and call it trust? My name is Richard Whitmore, and people hear that name and think money, shiny cars, clean marble, polite interviews, donations with my name stamped in gold. The usual billionaire highlight reel, but that is not the story I am telling you today. I am going to tell you how I sat outside my own kitchen window covered in dirt, while the woman I planned to marry shoved my 6-year-old daughter into a counter and called her lazy. How I watched my son's favorite toy get thrown in the trash. How another woman, the maid, no one cared about, took a slap meant for my child, and how all of that forced me to choose between my reputation and my kids. And before we go any further, I want you to think about this one question sitting in the back of your mind the whole time. If it were you, what would you have done? I was not always this guy hiding behind hedges. 3 years before all of this, I was a husband, a dad, and an idiot who believed hard work could outrun grief. My wife died on a rainy night, wrong place, wrong truck, one call that split my life into before and after. And suddenly it was just me, a baby boy, and a little girl who kept asking when mommy was coming home. I did what men like me are trained to do. I threw money at the hole in our lives. Best nanny, best school, best everything. Big house, bigger security gate, perfect lawn. I loved my kids, but I hid in boardrooms and flight schedules telling myself I was doing it for them, you know what I mean? Because admitting I could not fix what was broken inside us felt like weakness. Then Vanessa appeared like an answer I did not deserve. She was beautiful, perfectly put together, sharp, confident, knew how to speak to investors and waiters with 2 different tones, and everyone said the same thing. You are lucky, Rich. You found someone who can be a mother to your kids. At first, she played the part so well I almost believed it. She bought Lily a dress, she kissed Ethan's hair, she said things like, "We are a team now." And I wanted to believe that so badly I ignored the tight way Lily's hand wrapped around my tie whenever Vanessa walked in the room. The signs slid in quietly. Lily, who used to run to the door screaming "Daddy" when I got home, started hovering in doorways watching my face like she was waiting to see if I was safe. Ethan, usually a clingy little monkey, clung to the nanny instead. One evening I came in early and heard Vanessa in that cool, rehearsed tone saying, "If you cannot make your bed right the first time, Lily, you can sleep without a blanket. Maybe the cold will teach you." Lily's voice was so soft, I almost missed it. Yes, Mrs. Whitmore. That name hit me like a slap. Not Vanessa, not Mom. Mrs. Whitmore. I walked into the room, and Vanessa's expression flipped like a switch. Smile on voice light. "Honey, you are home early," as if she had not just sentenced a 6-year-old to sleep cold over some crooked sheets. Lily looked up at me for a second, with that look I had seen once in a shelter when I was younger, a kid deciding if the person in front of them is going to help or pretend not to see. I kissed her hair and pretended not to see. That one is on me. The real turning point came on a night I wish I could forget. I was packing for a trip another week away, and Lily slipped into my room with a drawing. It was her Ethan and their mom holding hands in front of our house. She whispered, "When you are here, she is nicer. When you go, the rules change." I asked her what that meant. She froze, crumpled the paper a little, and said, "Never mind, I am confused. I am sorry," and backed out of the room like she had done something wrong. I did not sleep that night. That sentence looped in my head, "When you go, the rules change." The next morning, I was in my lawyer's office, staring out at downtown Los Angeles, while Daniel, who had known me since college, tried to talk sense into me. "Let me get this straight," he said, setting his coffee down like he was putting a lid on his patience. "You want to fake a month-long business trip, hire some actor to answer calls as you put on a costume, and move into your own house as the gardener. That is not strategy rich, that is insanity. I need to know." I told him I confront her with nothing but a feeling she wins. She will cry, flip it on me, say grief made me paranoid. But if I am right, and I walk away now, I am leaving my kids with someone who hurts them the second I close the door. He rubbed his temples. "Recordings, therapy interviews with the staff there are legal ways. She is too careful," I said, and I knew it. I had seen how she changed when people watched her. No one is going to go on record. "You know how this works." She will say I am abusive, unstable, trying to control her. If this goes to court with nothing but my gut, I lose them. Daniel sighed because he knew I was not going to back down. "Then if you are going to pull a stunt like this, get proof, real proof clear as daylight, or this whole thing burns you instead of her." So I went home, kissed Vanessa on the cheek, told her the New York investors insisted I come in person for a full month, no back and forth. Too expensive, too much at stake. She asked a few questions, nothing emotional, then gave me this thin little smile and said, "The kids will miss you," like she was reading from a script. When I walked away, I heard her on the phone in our bedroom, voice low and sharp, "Yes, a whole month. Finally, I can get this house under control." That was it. My last excuse died right there. 3 days later, a beat-up old truck rolled up to the service entrance of my mansion. I stepped out in worn boots, faded denim, a cap pulled low, and a fake beard that itched like punishment. I knocked, and Sophia opened the back door. Sophia was not what you picture when you hear Maid in a billionaire's house. No fake smile, no rehearsed sweetness. Just tired eyes, steady hands, brown hair tied back, the kind of posture that tells you she has been standing up for herself a long time without getting very far. "You must be the new gardener," she said. "Yes, ma'am. Name's Robert," I answered, dropping my voice, feeling ridiculous and desperate. She nodded, kind but professional. "Mrs. Whitmore wants the hedges perfectly straight, the roses trimmed, fountain clean, backyard spotless. She is very particular. If you need anything, let me know." "Sure," I said, and stepped into my own yard like a stranger. Vanessa came in a few minutes later. Sophia introduced me. Vanessa gave me a slow once-over, the kind you use for a stain on a dress you really like. "I hope we are not overpaying for this," she said. "The last gardener was useless. I cannot stand incompetence." "Yes, ma'am, I will do my best," I replied. "You had better," she snapped, already bored with me. That is who she really was when she thought someone was beneath her. That was my first confirmation. Around mid-morning, Lily and Ethan came out to the yard holding hands. Seeing my daughter, the kid I had tucked in all these years, looking at me like I was some stranger with a shovel, hurt more than the blisters forming on my hands. "Who is that?" Lily whispered. "That is Robert, the new gardener," Sophia told her gently. "Good morning," I said, keeping my eyes soft but distant. "Good morning," Lily said shyly. Ethan gave me a tiny wave with the stuffed elephant still clutched in his hand. When they went back inside, their shoulders sagged a little. And I remember thinking, this house used to echo with their laughter. When did it start feeling like a museum? The first real punch to the gut hit that afternoon. I was trimming the bushes near the kitchen window when I heard Vanessa's voice. I looked up. She had Lily by the arm, hard pushing her into the counter. "How many times do I have to explain this? The table is set before breakfast, not after. Your father works like a dog to give you this life, and you cannot follow one simple instruction." Lily winced, whispered, "I am sorry," clutching her arm. Ethan was sitting on the floor, watching with big, confused eyes. Vanessa flicked her hand like she was brushing crumbs off marble. "If you disobey me again, you go to bed without dinner. Do you understand?" Lily nodded, staring at the floor. From outside, I could feel my pulse in my throat. That was more than strict. That was humiliation, and it was casual for her. As she stormed toward the glass door, she nearly walked into me. "Watch where you are going," she snapped. "Can you not see I am walking here?" "I am sorry, ma'am," I murmured, keeping my head down like any hired worker would. She looked me over again, sneered. "People like you always think you can do whatever you want. I hope we are not wasting money on you, and those hedges are crooked." "Yes, ma'am." "I will fix them," I said, swallowing every word I wanted to throw back. "Here is a pattern interrupt for you. That was the moment I stopped wondering if I was overreacting and started wondering how deep this went. I also started noticing Sophia. The same day, Vanessa grabbed Ethan's stuffed elephant and said, "This filthy thing does not belong in my kitchen. You are not a baby anymore," then threw it in the trash while he cried so hard his whole body curled in. She knew that toy had been with him since his mom died. She knew, and she did it anyway. When Vanessa left the room, Sophia waited, then quietly pulled the elephant out of the trash, checked it, said, "I will wash him." Okay, wiped Ethan's face, hugged him once fast, like she knew cameras might be watching, then sent him back to play. I watched that through the glass, and I wrote it down that night in a motel a few miles away. Day 2. Vanessa shoved Lily, threatened no dinner, threw away Ethan's toy. Sophia comforted them. Every day after that, there was something. Lily being forced to say, "Yes, Mrs. Whitmore," for forgetting a crumb on the table. A plate of food taken away because you do not want to end up fat like those kids on TV. Ethan getting half a piece of toast and a cup of milk while Vanessa piled her own plate and said, "That is enough for him." Over and over, small cuts, quiet damage. All when Daddy was supposed to be far away. You ever notice how abusers love rules? Rules give them cover. I started carrying a small digital recorder in my pocket, under the gardener's shirt. If Vanessa wanted to perform, I figured I might as well record the show. One afternoon, I came close to blowing everything. Vanessa found a drawing in Lily's room, a picture of Lily, Ethan, and their mother holding hands. "What is this?" Vanessa demanded. "My drawing," Lily said. "Of who?" "Of Mommy. My real mommy." Vanessa laughed sharp. "Your real mother is gone. You will respect me now." Then she tore the paper in half. I stood outside the door, fingers digging into the siding, every cell in my body yelling at me to walk in. Instead, I gripped that recorder in my pocket and let it roll while Lily tried not to cry. That night in the car, I listened back. Vanessa's voice saying, "Fear works better than love. Love makes children spoiled," on a phone call to one of her friends, like she was sharing some genius parenting quote. I replayed that line until my knuckles went white on the steering wheel. "Do you think that is fair? You think that is discipline?" It got worse. She started going after Sophia. One morning I heard her cornering her by the sink. "You always seem to show up when I am disciplining the children," she said. "I am just trying to help keep the house running smoothly, ma'am," Sophia answered carefully. "Are you trying to interfere with my parenting?" Vanessa stepped closer. "Never," Sophia whispered. "I only want what is best for the kids." "What is best?" Vanessa said low, "Is for you to remember who pays you. If I ever suspect you are turning my stepchildren against me, I will make sure you never work in this city again." I saw Sophia's hand tremble as she folded a dish towel, but her jaw stayed firm. That is when I realized she was not just kind, she was brave. Here comes the twist. A few days later, I pull up as Robert and see a police cruiser parked at the gate. For a second, my heart stops. Did she find out about me? No, she found a new target. Vanessa was standing on the steps, crying for show, telling an officer that jewelry had gone missing, and that she hated to say it, but the only person who had access was Sophia. Accusing her of stealing a pendant from her mother, you know the script, poor rich woman betrayed by the help. They searched Sophia's small room. I watched from the driveway, sick to my stomach. And then one of the officers lifted a velvet box from her drawer, opened it, and there it was. Vanessa's pendant. Sophia shook her head, shocked. That is not mine. I swear I did not put that there. Vanessa clasped her chest, playing hurt. I wanted to trust you. I looked at Vanessa's shoes, at the faint smear of fresh soil from the side path. Only staff used the same soil I had just been trimming near. I remembered seeing her slip down that hallway alone before they called the cops. It clicked. She planted it. She was trying to get Sophia arrested, get rid of the only person standing between her and my kids. The officer started asking Sophia to come down to the station. Everything in me screamed. Officer, I said, keeping the Robert voice but not the Robert posture. This house has cameras in the hallway by the staff wing, right? Maybe check them. Could help clear things up. Vanessa snapped too quickly. There are no cameras in that part of the house. The cop frowned. Ma'am, your husband's security setup specifically mentioned hallway coverage. He went to call it in. A few minutes later, it came back. Footage clearly showed Vanessa walking into the hallway with something in her hand alone after the time she claimed to have last seen the jewelry. No Sophia. Suddenly her neat little story had holes. The officers backed off, no arrest, misunderstanding, they said. Vanessa's eyes went cold. Not scared of them, furious at Sophia. When they left, she got in Sophia's face voice like a knife. If you ever humiliate me like that again, I will destroy you. I recorded that too. That was the moment I knew I was done watching. She was not just cruel, she was dangerous, willing to lie to the police, ruin lives, isolate my kids. There was nothing left to doubt. Stick around, because what happened next would blow that fake, perfect life to pieces. Saturday, brunch day, Vanessa's favorite stage. 3 of her friends arrived, dripping money sunglasses, perfumes that smelled like old flowers. I was outside in the garden with the shears. I did not need any more, close to the glass doors. Inside, she arranged everything, white marble, perfect pastries, expensive coffee. She called out, "Children, come down." Lily came downstairs in a pale dress with a ribbon tied a little too tight. Ethan followed in a little suit, holding his elephant like a lifeline. Both of them looked tired. "Come say hello to my friends," Vanessa said. "Good afternoon," Lily whispered. Louder, Vanessa snapped. "Good afternoon," she repeated, voice shaking. "Aren't they adorable?" one woman said. "They are perfect now." Vanessa smiled. "A bit of discipline goes a long way. Fear works better than love, you know." I watched through the glass. My hand tightened on the shears. My recorder caught that line again. Then Lily reached for a glass of water. Her hand slipped. The glass shattered on the floor. "It is always something small." Vanessa's face twisted. "Look what you have done," she hissed. "So clumsy, so careless." "I am sorry," Lily said, eyes wide. "Sorry is not enough." Vanessa raised her hand. Before I could move, Sophia jumped between them. "Stop," she said, breathless. "She is 6. You are not hitting her." The slap cracked across Sophia's cheek instead. The whole terrace froze. Vanessa screamed, "You are fired. Pack your things right now. I will make sure you never work again." Sophia stood there with a red palm print on her face, tears in her eyes, but her voice did not break. "Do what you need to," she said, "but you are not laying a hand on her." And that was when I finally quit hiding. I dropped the shears. They hit the stone with a sound that cut through the silence. "That is enough," I said. Vanessa wheeled around. "Excuse me. Get back to work. This has nothing to do with you." I stepped forward, finally standing up straight. I said, "That is enough." Something in my tone made all 3 guests stare at me properly, made Sophia's eyes widen. Vanessa's lip curled. "Who do you think you are?" I reached up, grabbed the edge of the beard, and peeled it off. One of the women gasped, actually choked. "Oh my God. Richard Whitmore." Vanessa stumbled back, color draining. "No. No, you are in New York. You are supposed to be in New York." I let the beard fall between us, surprise. Vanessa switched gears so fast it was almost impressive. "Rich, this is not what it looks like." She started laughing too high. She provoked me. "The kids have been misbehaving. This gardener has been feeding you lies." I did not know, I thought. I have been here the whole time. I cut in calm now, very clear. Watching, listening, recording. I held up the recorder. Her eyes went wide. You recorded me, every insult, every threat. Every time you called fear better than love, I said. Every time you tried to starve them, humiliate them, frame Sophia. I hit play. Her own words filled the terrace. Fear works better than love. Love makes children spoiled. Her voice calling Sophia, the help threatening to ruin her, laughing about controlling my kids. The women who came for brunch looked like they wanted to sink into the tiles. One whispered, "We should go." No, I told them. You came here to admire how perfect everything is. You can stay and see what perfect looks like when the mask slips. Vanessa lunged, reaching for the recorder. I stepped back. Touch me again, and this goes to every lawyer, every judge, every news outlet I can find, I said. I am done protecting you. You tricked me, she shouted. You spied on me in my own home. That is illegal. You are insane. I will ruin you with this. You hurt my children in my home, I answered. And that is the only moment my voice cracked. I trusted you with the only two people that matter in this world, and you broke them. I turned to Lily and Ethan. Lily was clinging to Sophia, shaking. Ethan was gripping his elephant so tight, his knuckles were white. Hey, I crouched down, look at me. It is over. Nobody is going to hurt you in this house again. Lily threw herself at me, sobbing into my chest. Ethan reached for me too, then tugged Sophia closer with his little hand, like he knew she belonged in whatever safety we were building now. Sophia stared at me, piecing it all together. You were their father this whole time, she said. Yes, I nodded. And I saw what you did for them. You were the only one who tried to protect them when you had everything to lose. Vanessa tried one more angle, desperate. Oh, please, she is manipulating you. She has been cozying up to you, pretending to care. She is a liar, a thief. Really, I said. Because the cameras show you planting jewelry in her room. They recorded you threatening her. You want to talk about liars? Let us play it again. She went quiet. My lawyer already has copies, I continued. The divorce papers are ready. You are going to pack your things. You are going to walk out of this house today, and you are never going to be alone with my children again. You cannot do that, she hissed. I will tell everyone you are unstable, that you disguised yourself, that you spied on me. They will crucify you. I already regret the only thing that matters here, I said. Letting you near them. For a second, I thought she might swing at me or at Sophia, or even at Lily again. Instead, she looked around and saw there was no one left on her side. Not the staff, not her friends. Not even the kids she thought she could mold. Her heels hammered across the floor as she left. The door slammed. The echo died. And in the quiet that followed, I heard the smallest voice. Daddy, is she gone? Lily asked. Yeah, I said, pulling her close. She is gone. Sophia brushed a tear off Lily's cheek, her own face still marked red. You are safe now, she whispered. Ethan tugged on Sophia's sleeve like he never wanted her to go. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman who risked her job, her freedom, her future to shield my children, while their father hid in a beard outside the window. You saved them, I told her. She shook her head. I did what anyone should have done. No, I said. And this part still stings. I am their father, and I did not do it soon enough. You did what I could not face yet. She swallowed hard. You lied to me too, she said quietly. About who you were. About everything. Do you know what that feels like? Yeah, I admitted. I do. And I am sorry. I was trying to protect them the only way I could see, but that does not erase the fact that you carried this weight alone for too long. I did not stay for you, she said, and there was no softness in that line, just truth. I stayed for them. I wanted to see them smile again. Then stay for them, I said. If you want to, as long as you ever want to. Not because I am rich, Because they trust you. She gave a small, tired smile. We will see, she said, and for the first time that day I believed we might mean something real and honest. The rest, like people say, is lawyers and headlines and opinions. Vanessa tried to spin it. Said I was abusive for spying, controlling, that I framed her. Some blogs ran with it. Some people believed her. Some thought I went way too far. Some thought I did not go far enough. So here is where I hand it to you. Was I wrong to fake a trip to sneak into my own house as a gardener, to record without telling anyone, to expose her like that in front of guests? Or was that the only way a man like me, with too much to lose and 2 kids who could not speak freely, was ever going to get to the truth? Here is what I know. In the months after Lily stopped flinching, when someone raised their hand too fast, she started drawing again. This time we hang her pictures on the fridge where nobody tears them down. Ethan eats until he is full without looking around, like he has to ask permission from a judge. Sometimes I catch him asleep, hugging that same elephant, drooling on it, and I think that is what safety looks like, something so boring you almost miss it. Sophia is still in our lives. We are taking it slow, careful, honest. No disguises, no power games, just 2 adults trying not to mess up 2 kids who have seen too much. Whatever people assume about that, they can go ahead. They do not tuck my children in at night. The real point, the thing I wanted to say by telling you all this, is that monsters do not always look like strangers in dark alleys. Sometimes they look like the person everyone praises for being so put together, the one who never loses their temper in public, the perfect partner on paper. And sometimes the bravest person in the room is the one nobody notices until they step between a raised hand and a child. So now it is your turn. Tell me what you think in the comments. Was I justified, or did I cross a line that no partner should cross, no matter how scared they are? If it were you in my position, what would you have done? And if you have ever been the Sophia in someone else's story, the only one who spoke up when staying quiet would have been safer. I want to hear that too. Drop your thoughts, your anger, your disagreement, your own experiences down below. Share this with someone who thinks discipline is a good excuse for cruelty, or with someone who needs courage to trust what they are seeing. Hit like if this story hit something in you, subscribe. If you want more real stories people are too embarrassed to admit are real, and do not just scroll away. Because at the end of the day, the question that kept me up at night is the same one I am leaving with you now. When the rules change behind closed doors, do you look away, or do you find a way to tear the mask off?